What happens when we begin to realize that the 200-year experiment we've called the American healthcare system has failed? Tune in to Awakened Wellness with Milen Riobe, MD, and join the conversation about how to heal our broken system to reverse our current health crisis. The entire world is looking for answers, and the truth is hidden in plain sight. Learn how spirituality, ancient traditions, and cutting-edge science are merging to create a new paradigm of wellness. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m. with live shows on the first and third mornings when you can call in and ask the questions that matter most to you.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Awakened Wellness with Milen Riobe, MD, right here on Dream Vision 7 Radio. I'm your host, Dr. Milen. And today we're discussing natural and safe options to boost libido or sex drive. So after Valentine's Day ended, I had some patients come in and tell me that Valentine's Day wasn't what they expected, and they wanted a little bit of help. So I thought it would be a great topic to discuss today. And what I've learned mostly in my over 20 years of practice is that sex drive is usually not a physical issue. What I find is that it's mostly psychological and spiritual due to some trauma, due to some mixed messages that we heard as children, and that tends to be more of the issue for a lot of men and women when they get older. So I'm very excited to be talking about this topic today because I think it's one that people are a little bit squeamish to talk about, but it's extremely important for our spiritual, mental, and physical health. So that's our topic for today. And I am very blessed to be here with you right here on Dream Vision 7 Radio. Very grateful for this opportunity to be speaking to such a wonderful audience. And I do invite you to give me a call today. I'd love to hear any questions or comments that you may have throughout our show. Our number at Dream Vision 7 Radio is 833-220-1200. We are here live today on March 5th, 2019. So please give me a call. I'd love to hear any questions or comments you have on today's topic. We're live here every first and third Tuesday morning at 11 a.m. with our pre-recorded shows on the second and fourth Tuesday mornings also at 11. We have our pre-recorded shows also at 11 p.m. every Tuesday night. So if you missed any of our previous shows, please go ahead to Dream Vision 7 Radio. You can download our archives. So today we're going to be debunking some myths, learning about some cutting-edge research corroborating ancient medical systems, and exploring the mind-body-spirit approaches that keep you and your family vibrant, healthy, and happy. I'd like to stress that what I'll be discussing today does not constitute medical advice because I'm not specifically evaluating and treating any particular individual on the show. And when my clients come to me at the Riobe Institute of Integrative Medicine, I'll do a full evaluation before I formulate a treatment plan to share with them. So I also advise you to seek the care of a board-certified integrative medical doctor to see which of the ideas I'll be sharing throughout our show, which may benefit you. In 2014, an amazing thing happened in the field of medicine, and that is that the American Board of Physician Specialties formally accepted the field of integrative medicine as a medical specialty. So that opened a door for us who were previously on the fringe of medicine to gain a little bit of legitimacy in the eyes of the establishment, if you will, and also to help those of us who have always believed in this field of holistic and natural medicine to know that we're making some headway and that we're not just lost on an island somewhere alone. So it was a great thing that happened in 2014, and I was very honored and blessed and grateful to have been board certified in this amazing field in 2017. I've been a practicing physician, I guess I could say, for 22 years if you count my residency training. And originally I started out as an OBGYN. I became board certified in 2001. And what I quickly realized is that I wasn't really equipped, despite 13 years of advanced training in medicine, to treat a lot of chronic medical symptoms and conditions. The vast majority of the symptoms that my patients came in with, we were not specifically trained to treat. And so I became very rapidly frustrated and looked to other systems of medicine. I first looked at our own system to see, like, did I miss something? Did I miss some type of training in our conventional model? And I came to realize that I didn't miss anything at all, and that it was simply a matter of our conventional model not really being equipped to deal with these conditions because its paradigm is different. So the paradigm of our conventional medical model is to diagnose and treat diseases. And what we falsely call prevention is the early diagnosis of disease so that we can prevent death from the disease. And so that didn't come to light until quite some time later, but it just didn't sit well with me that I couldn't treat my patients. One of the most common complaints was low libido or fatigue, depression, anxiety, difficulty sleeping, and we just were not equipped. I used to prescribe testosterone tablets at the time, early on in my training, because that's what we were trained to do. Didn't really work well for clients, and what I learned later is that we were not really balancing hormones, and we were not really looking at the underlying causes of low libido, and so we weren't really doing our clients good service without looking at things a little more deeply. So I looked at traditional Chinese medicine and found it interesting enough to go study. And I was fortunate enough to realize the very profound nature of traditional Chinese medicine. If you're not careful when you look at traditional Chinese medicine and you look at it superficially, it seems very simplistic and it seems as though it wouldn't be able to treat a lot of things. But if you're fortunate enough to continue to study it, it opens up a world that is truly incredible and really flows with the laws of the universe, flows with what modern science would call quantum physics or quantum mechanics. And it really ties things together in a way that our conventional model just is not equipped to do. So our conventional model is great if you have appendicitis, you've had a heart attack, or you have other medical emergencies where your life is immediately in danger. Our conventional medical model is outstanding for those circumstances, not so outstanding for prevention of disease, not so outstanding to treat chronic symptoms and conditions. So Chinese medicine opened up my eyes in a way that it would not have been opened up had I continued along the lines of conventional medicine. I then studied functional medicine, and what this brought to the table was the ability to really look deeply inside of the cells of the body to look for things that were lowering metabolism, things that were obstructing the cells from performing their function. And what I came to learn is that the human body is constructed of about 70 trillion cells, each of those cells functioning in harmony with all the other cells to perform its own functions and also to perform functions relative to all the other cells. So there's an independence and an interdependence in the human body that's really critical that Chinese medicine understands well. And functional medicine allows us to look into in a more, I guess, objective way than Chinese medicine. Chinese medicine is extremely powerful, and there is no testing in Chinese medicine. Functional medicine brings that testing to light where we can actually look inside of someone's cells and determine a lot of things from what type of vitamin deficiencies they may have, or if there are toxins lodged in the cell that cannot be eliminated. We can find out if someone has, if their gastrointestinal cells are not working and absorbing and digesting. We can find out if they have infection in the cells. We can find out defects in the immune system, defects in genetic makeup that we can work around to allow the body to restore its function. So the combination of traditional Chinese medicine and functional medicine is extremely powerful, especially in the case of low libido and other chronic symptoms and conditions that our conventional model is not equipped to deal with. Our conventional model is also not equipped to deal with the spiritual nature of our symptoms or the mental nature of our symptoms in the same way that a more holistic approach can provide. So low libido is really important to look outside the box for. Our conventional treatments are simply not adequate to properly evaluate and properly treat low libido. And low libido is a sign of something deeper. We tend to look at it as not quite as important as other symptoms may be, but it is really a clue into the body, into the mind, and into the spirit that if we look deeply, we can begin to heal. And so what is low libido? What does it mean? Low libido is the lack of sexual desire. In traditional Chinese medicine, low libido is due to a lack of fire, which makes sense when you look at it. So low libido in Chinese medicine can be due to what's called a yang deficiency, yang being the warming fire side of our energy. So when it's too low, our sex drive and our libido drops. But what's actually going on is that our metabolism is dropping. It's another way of saying low metabolism, which again is the root of many, many diseases. So having a low libido is really kind of a window into seeing that you may be at risk for other symptoms and conditions that are also associated with a low metabolism. And what is metabolism? Metabolism is the making and utilization of energy by the body cells. And so when we have adequate energy and our fire is, normal, if you will, or at proper proportions, then we have a healthy, normal sex drive. When our energy is low, then we do not. The desire to have sex is lower. And evolutionarily, it even makes sense. So if you don't have enough energy to power your reproduction, your sex drive is going to go down. If you don't have enough metabolism to support a pregnancy, if you will, your sex drive will go down. That's a built-in protective mechanism that nature has in place for us. So during our reproductive time frame, if you have a low libido, it's also a sign that you're at risk for other symptoms and conditions later on. So it's important to look at, and it's important to really talk to your physician or your holistic practitioner or your therapist about, because it is truly a mind-body-spirit approach that will fully heal it. So libido is a low sex drive, which is driven by a low metabolism. So we would have to look at the causes of low metabolism if we want to look at the physical causes of a low libido. If we want to look at the psychological causes or the spiritual causes, then we have to go back a little bit further in time and look at childhood. Some things we don't remember. Some things are in our subconscious. In fact, 95% or more of the things that we hear or experience go into our subconscious mind, and we don't have an active memory of it. So sometimes a low libido is a sign of some misinformation we may have heard. Sometimes it's a sign of potential abuse even. Sometimes it's a sign of conversations we may have overheard or conversations we were involved in. In our patriarchal society, we've kind of taken power away from women to express themselves. And so some women, many women, millions of women in fact, don't talk about sex at all because it's been a little bit vilified in society. It's been a little vilified in perhaps certain religions and philosophies. And so it's become this kind of quiet thing that we don't talk about. And human nature kind of gives us the impression that if something is not talked about, it's either something you're not supposed to do or something bad to do. And so I think looking at the psychological and the spiritual parts of a low libido are probably more important than looking at the physical parts. And also knowing that thoughts are things and thoughts have impacts on the human body, it's